The heavens wept a relentless rhythm against the panoramic windows of Eleanor's sky-high office. 52 years young and the formidable CFO of a cutting-edge tech empire, Eleanor gazed at the sprawling cityscape below. Another day etched in the annals of demanding meetings, tight deadlines, and the ever-present low thrum of responsibility had just concluded. As the youngest of four, she'd always carried the family mantle, a trait that had seamlessly transitioned into her professional life. Her two cherished children had flown the nest, her divorce a distant memory. Independence was her hard-won reality. Yet some nights, the silence of her chic apartment pressed down with an unwelcome weight. A gentle tap at her door broke the spell of her thoughts. It was Julian, the company's dynamic new CEO. Tall, with shoulders that spoke of quiet strength and an aura of effortless charm, he joined the firm 6 months prior, injecting a vibrant energy into the established culture with his hands-on approach and unexpected warmth. Unlike the reserved leaders of the past, Julian made it a point to connect with everyone, investing time in understanding their talents and hurdles. Eleanor held him in high regard. He was sharp, insightful, and, she had to grudgingly admit, devastatingly attractive. The dusting of silver at his temples and his piercing hazel eyes hadn't escaped her notice, though she diligently filed that observation away beneath layers of professional decorum. "Eleanor," he began, stepping into the room with an easy confidence. "May I whisk you away for dinner? We need to strategize for the upcoming board meeting, and frankly, I crave an atmosphere devoid of buzzing fluorescent lights." His smile was genuine, yet a spark of something more danced in his eyes. An unspoken invitation to step beyond their usual roles. Eleanor hesitated, her instincts pulling her in conflicting directions. But before she could succumb to overthinking, she nodded. "Let me just grab my coat." They found themselves in a charming little trattoria tucked away on a quiet city street, a gem Eleanor wouldn't have discovered on her own. The warm, inviting glow, the gentle murmur of conversations, and the rich, tantalizing scent of garlic and herbs enveloped them in a cozy embrace, a world away from the sterile office environment. Julian held her chair with a touch of old-world courtesy that felt surprisingly endearing. As the evening unfolded, their conversation flowed effortlessly from boardroom strategies to the tapestry of their lives. Julian spoke of his teenage son, his passion for restoring vintage cars, and the recent passing of his beloved wife after a courageous battle with illness. His vulnerability caught Eleanor off guard, and she found herself sharing more than she intended about her past marriage. The delicate dance of balancing motherhood with ambition, and the quiet yearning for something deeper. The night deepened, their laughter becoming more unrestrained with each shared glass of exquisite Italian wine. Eleanor was struck by the ease of their connection, by how his presence felt both grounding and exhilarating. She noticed the way his gaze lingered on hers, the subtle softening of his voice as he inquired about her aspirations beyond spreadsheets and financial projections. For the first time in years, she felt truly seen, not as a mother, a boss, or a colleague, but simply as a woman. The rain had returned as they left the restaurant, the streetlights casting a luminous sheen on the wet pavement. Julian insisted on walking her to her car, his umbrella offering a meager shield against the downpour. As they reached her car door, she turned to thank him, but the words caught in her throat. His expression had shifted, the warmth in his eyes now imbued with a deeper intensity. "Eleanor," he began, his voice a low murmur, "tonight reminded me of something I'd almost forgotten, that there's so much more to life than the roles we inhabit." Her heart quickened as he closed the small space between them, the air crackling with unspoken desire. When his lips brushed against hers, it was a tentative exploration, a question hanging in the rainy night. She answered without hesitation, her hands instinctively finding the lapels of his coat as she returned his kiss. The following weeks became a blur of stolen moments, their connection, nurtured by years of professional respect and ignited in a single evening, blossoming in ways neither had foreseen. They found precious minutes between meetings, their conversations now laced with a tantalizing blend of professionalism and barely concealed longing. Outside the office, they discovered shared passions for classic films, smoky jazz, and tranquil Sunday mornings spent wandering through sun-dappled parks. But their burgeoning relationship wasn't without its shadows. Office dynamics cast a long shadow, and Eleanor couldn't shake the worry of how their colleagues might perceive her. The fear that her hard-won achievements might be diminished by whispers of favoritism. The pivotal moment arrived during a particularly challenging board meeting. Julian championed a proposal Eleanor had passionately advocated for, his words slicing through the room with an unwavering conviction that silenced all doubt. Later, as they sat together in his office, the lingering tension of the day still palpable, he turned to her with a seriousness that stole her breath. "Eleanor," he said, his gaze unwavering, "I don't want to hide what we have, not from the world, not from ourselves. You mean too much to me to let fear dictate our story." His words washed over her, a balm to insecurities she hadn't fully acknowledged. For the first time in years, she felt truly supported, not just as a capable executive, but as a woman deserving of love and partnership. As they lay entwined in her bed, the city lights painting soft shadows across the room, Eleanor realized that her life, once so meticulously planned and carefully orchestrated, had taken an unexpected and beautiful turn. And for the first time in a long time, she was profoundly grateful for the surprise. Their relationship continued to flourish, marked by moments both grand and intimate. A spontaneous weekend escape to the rugged coastline, where they shared their dreams over crisp white wine and the soothing rhythm of crashing waves. Quiet evenings spent creating culinary delights together, their laughter echoing through the kitchen, and the tender strength of Julian's hand in hers during her son's wedding, a silent offering of support as she watched him embark on his own new chapter. With each passing day, Eleanor felt herself blossoming, opening up to a happiness that transcended achievements and accolades, a happiness rooted in sharing her life with someone who truly saw and cherished her. Ultimately, their love story wasn't about dramatic gestures or sudden twists of fate, but about the quiet, unwavering way they chose each other, day after day. It was a gentle reminder that love, no matter when it arrives, possesses the extraordinary power to transform, to heal, and to ignite a radiant spark in the deepest corners of the heart.